20, which means let's go. Have Gambo everybody. My name is Isabel. I'm gonna be your safari driver today here at the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. And just a couple safety reminders before we enter the reserve. Remember to stay seated at all times and keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs all the way inside the vehicle. Right above your head, you're gonna have the safari spotting guide that might help you identify some of the animals. If you're taking pictures, have those cameras ready to go, but hold on to those cameras very tightly. We are not allowed to stop for any drop item. But if you lost something, let me know. I will try my best to get it back for you. Alrighty friends, our journey starts here on the Leader Ituri Forest. Since that we have our first animal coming up on the right hand side. This is an okapi. The okapi is known as the ghost of the forest. They are extremely hard to see. We're gonna pull up a little bit more and coming up on the left hand side. That animal with that orange coloration are some of the bongos. Also really hard to see animals. They're very good at hiding. Both males and female bongos have that curved shape on the back of their horns, and that helps them to dive and also hide into the bushes. Right, my friends, coming up on the right hand side right above the hill. First, you're gonna spot some of the greater kudus. That is one of the biggest type of antelope. And up on the left hand side, right against that rock, you might spot the back of one of the black rhinos. The black rhinos are a very rare and solitary species. Those big animals can weigh to about 3,000 pounds. Also up on the left hand side, you might spot a tiny black and white bird. And this is a saddle-billed stork. That is the largest type of stork in Africa. They got their name because of that yellow saddle they have on top of their bills. Those birds are not able to vocalize, but they communicate by rattling their bills. But it seems that those were most of the animals on the forest. But we're just gonna keep moving. We're gonna be making our way through the Safi River. The Safi River is the home of many aquatic animals. They love to spend time underwater just to try to cool off their skin. But during this cold season, they are pretty active out of the water. So let's see what we can find up here. First, on the back corner up on the right hand side, you might spot two of the Nile hippos. You see them right up on the left. Don't worry guys, we might have another view of that animal in just a couple moments. So just remember to stay seated. The hippos had the ability to hold their breath for up to 8 minutes and also sleep underwater. They do that by their muscle memory. That's how they remember to reach to the surface and take a breath. Alrighty my friends, we might be part of an animal stop right now. There might be some of the animals on the road further up, but we hopefully will get back on the move at any moment. In the meantime, if you ever have any questions, feel free to let me know. Alrighty friends. There's also some of the pink-backed pelicans up on the right-hand side. Those birds got their name because of the pink coloration that appears on the back of their feathers during the mating season. Right up on the left-hand side, there's another view of those hippos. Those big animals can weigh to about 5,000 pounds. Those are herbivorous animals. That means that their diet is consumed of vegetables and also plants. By the way, you have to be very careful with that animal because they are extremely territorial. Hippos will do anything in order to protect their home. here sitting up on the left hand side, you may spot two of the hippos, actually three of them, right above those islands. When the hippos are out of the water, they secrete a red thick substance called blood sweat. But they're really not sweating blood. That's just the color of their sweat. That works as a sunscreen for them. And that's also what gives them that pink coloration. So that's why the hippos look pink out of the water. Also up on the left hand side, we're going to be passing by the habitat of the Nile crocodile. Those reptiles are able to eat half of their body weight in a single feed. Besides being extremely territorial, the crocodiles eat an average of 55 full meals a year. That means that those reptiles barely eat twice or even once every 2 weeks. Alrighty friends, we're going to be heading out of the river. And if you notice that the ecosystem is changing a little bit, that's because we're approaching the savanna.
Ready to go?
This is how we are good to keep moving. And a very important part of the savanna ecosystem. In just a couple moments, it'll be coming up on your right hand side. This is not as interesting as the animals, but just in the meantime, this is a baobab tree, also known as the tree of life. This is one of the primary sources of water for the animals of the savanna. It can store about 1,000 gallons of water inside a big trunk. Animals like the African elephants like to use their tusks to scrape the baobab, and that's how they get the water out of those trees. So the tree of life can be a great sign. We can find some elephants during this ride. Just from right up here up on the left hand side, you might spot one of them, a side giraffe, just walking by. That is the largest subspecies of the giraffe. Giraffe Maasai can reach about the 20 feet length. You're gonna be able to spot them as Maasai because of some jagged and irregular spots they have on their coats. We're gonna get close to that animal in just a couple moments. In the meantime, really close to us, up on the right hand side, right up on that corner, we have a group or a confusion of some wildebeest. A group of wildebeest is called a confusion because when those animals feel in danger, they try to spread out and run in all ways, just trying to confuse their predator. We keep pulling up a little bit more right up on the left hand side. This is the habitat of the African painted ducks. Those tiny animals like to hang out right up on that corner, so we're just gonna see if we can get a better view of that animal. A group of wild ducks is called a pack, and that is the most successful hunter on the whole savanna. They have an 86% success on their hunting because they hunt in groups. That's almost 50% more success than the lions. Just from right here, you might spot a group of those tiny animals up on the left.
Yeah.
Also, right up on the left hand side, you're gonna spot some of the sable antelopes, the animal with that curved shape on the back of their horns that helps them to protect from predators that want to jump on their backs. Also, there's one of those Hartman mountain zebras, and it seems that we actually have a group coming up. A group of zebras is called a dazzle. The zebras really rely on their stripes to survive. When a group of zebras run together, they will create an optical illusion, kind of like a big wall of stripes, that will make it almost impossible for their predators to spot a very single zebra. Up on the left hand side, there's going to be a better view of those zebras. Also, those amazing horns right up on the left are part of the ankily cattle, also known as the Watusi cattle. Their amazing horns work as a cooling system, pumping blood around their horns that helps them to cool off to up to 12 degrees. On the left hand side, you're gonna spot another one of those youngest Maasai giraffe. Newborn giraffe can reach about 7 feet high. Those animals are also able to walk within an hour of being born. As you might notice, those big friends spend most of their day eating. Giraffes eat an average of 65 pounds of leaves a day. They use their prehensile long tongues to grab the leaves. Their tongues are about 10 inches, and since they are prehensile, that just means that they can use their tongues as a finger. On the right hand side, right next to that big tree, you may spot a tiny antelope with a brown and white color, and that is one of the springboks. There's actually two of them. The springbok is the fastest land animal in the earth. They can run to a speed from 50 to 60 miles per hour. Alrighty, my friends, but the savanna ecosystem is also the home of the largest land animal in the earth, and specifically the African elephant is the largest land animal. The trees knocked down to the sides are the perfect sign there might be some elephants around. Those big animals can weigh to about 10,000 pounds. The elephants are also herbivorous animals. They eat an average of 150 pounds of leaves and grass a day. And they like to use their trunks to knock the trees, and that's how they get the leaves out of them. If you take a look to the right, you're gonna spot an African elephant.
Remember?
Different from any other kind of elephant, the African elephants have two fingertips at the point of their trunk, and that's what they use to grab their food. Up on the left hand side, you're gonna spot a family of some mandrills. Those are probably all females. The mandrill is actually the largest type of monkey, and their families are conformed of a dominant male and mostly females. I think we can talk a little bit more about that elephant that we just saw. And following their behavior, that was most likely one of the males. The males are not aggressive, but they're quite territorial. Usually male elephants leave their herds around the ages of 12 and 15. And they are most likely to live alone, but they can also form small groups with other male elephants. Ready friends, but there might be another spot around the reserve where to find more African elephants. Those are probably going to be some of the females and some of the youngest ones, so we're just gonna keep moving. And just from here up on the left hand side, we're gonna get a little bit closer. You might spot some of those females already. The elephants, just like the hyenas, live in a matriarchy. And that means that the female and oldest elephant is the matriarch. That is the leader. Those are extremely smart animals. The memory of an elephant is comparable to the memory of a 5-year-old human. Those animals are able to travel throughout the whole savannah during the dry season and also remember their way back home. And as this is a pretty big animal, you're gonna notice that the elephant walking is actually pretty silent. Well, that's because of the small cushions that they have under their flat feet. That works as a shock projector for them, but it also helps them to walk without producing any sound. Alright, friends, but we're gonna stick to the left. We're gonna be crossing by a group of flamingos, or a flamboyant. Those are some of the greater flamingos. This is the largest type of flamingo with also the brightest pink coloration. Flamingos reach that coloration during the first 2 years of their lives, and when they are younger, they usually have a gray color. If you were able to spot some of the gray ones, those were probably some of the youngest ones. Alrighty, my friends, and I'm gonna start lowering my voice as much as possible because there's gonna be a few big friends with very sensitive ears coming right up on the left hand side. Those are some of the white rhinos, quite bigger than the black rhinos we saw earlier. The white rhinos can reach the 5,000 pounds just like the hippos. Those are really friendly animals, but unfortunately extremely endangered. There's about 18,000 white rhinos left in the world. One of their major threats is the hunting because of their horns that are made of keratin. The keratin is a substance that you can find on your fingernails and also on your hair. Alrighty, friends, and just from here up on the left hand side, we're gonna get really close to one of the ostrich. Those pretty fast birds, besides having those wings, they are not able to fly. They're quite too heavy for that. They are pretty fast. They can run to a speed to up to 30 miles per hour and also maintain that speed for a few hundred yards. The ostrich use their wings to maintain balance during those high speeds. But up on the left hand side, you're gonna also spot some of the cheetahs. Being one of the fastest cats in the world, they can run to a speed to up to 60 miles per hour. This is not a pretty strong animal, so the cheetahs do not rely on their power, but they do rely on their speed. For that reason, they decide to hunt during the day. That way it's easier for them to avoid their nocturnal hunters. But on the left hand side, there's gonna be a better view of that ostrich. And right above the rock, you're gonna spot one of the male lions. The lions are nocturnal hunters. They sleep an average of 19 and 20 hours a day. And as the lions hunt during the night, the females are actually the ones in charge of their hunting. On the right hand side, you're also gonna spot some of the water bugs. Those antelopes got their name because they drink a huge amount of water for an antelope. And on top of that rock, you're gonna spot also two of the female lions. Those beautiful female hunt in groups, so they often roar to spot themselves. The roaring of a lion is as loud as you could hear it up to 6 miles away. And we're gonna keep up with some Lion King references, and up on the left hand side, you're gonna spot some of the warthogs. Of course, the animal is commonly known as a Pumbaa. But I always like to say that Pumbaa is not a very accurate word for that animal, because Pumbaa means foolish in Swahili. The warthogs are actually extremely smart animals. Coming onto the right hand side, there's gonna be a group or a crash of some white rhinos. On the right hand side, as we were talking about the ostrich earlier, you might spot some of their eggs. The ostrich eggs are pretty heavy. They can weigh to about 3 pounds each egg. And that means it is kind of possible for a human being to step on a group of those without breaking them. Right, my friends, so we are just heading out the savannah and we're entering Magadi Glen. This is the home of the Nigerian dwarf goats. The goats are very social and also very playful animals. This is also one of the most domesticatable animals in the world. This type of goat just reached the petite size throughout their whole life, so those might be all full-grown adults. Alrighty friends, and again remember that if you ever have any question about the animals around the reserve, or even questions about the reserve itself, feel free to let me know. My 2 windows are quite literally always open. It seems we are all good to pass through the finale waters. That simply means that unfortunately we're getting really close to the end of this adventure. But that doesn't mean that your adventure has to end up here today. Players are looking forward to see some more animals or even do another safari today. And we encourage you to do it, because any safari is like another one. The animals are not always doing the same, and maybe many new friends will show up the next time that you come. For any wilderness explorers on board, you were on board of the truck the Simba 1. And as here in Harambe, we do not like to say goodbye, because we think it's far too sad and far too final. We use the phrase Kwaherini, which means to go well. So Kwaherini friends, go well, go wild, Go make the difference out there, have fun, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you guys for joining me today. On to the right hand side, watch us.